It's the late 1800s in Alberta, Canada. Little James Howlett has everything a rich kid could want. Fancy clothes, a huge estate, and loving parents. But little did he know that his perfect life was built on lies darker than a moonless night. James is a sickly child, constantly battling allergies and weakness, but he finds joy in two companions. There's Rose, a red-headed girl brought in to care for him. Yeah, the same type of redhead he'll fall for decades later when he meets Jean Grey. His other friend is Dog Logan, a rough kid whose father Thomas works as the estate's groundskeeper. But here's where it gets twisted. Thomas Logan is a drunk, violent piece of garbage who beats his son Dog regularly. And get this, he's also having an affair with James's mother, Elizabeth. That's right, James Howlett isn't even John Howlett's biological son. He's the bastard child of the abusive groundskeeper. Talk about family drama that would make a soap opera jealous. The perfect facade shatters one night when Dog and Thomas break into the Howlett mansion. The plan: kill John Howlett and take what they think is rightfully theirs. Dog pulls the trigger, shooting James's father right in front of him, but this moment becomes James's first awakening. Rage floods through his veins like molten metal, and suddenly, snicked bone claws tear through his knuckles for the first time. Without hesitation, James drives those claws straight into Thomas Logan's chest, killing his biological father. His mother Elizabeth loses her mind completely, screaming, "You're not my son, you're a monster, an animal," before taking her own life. The boy who woke up that morning as James Howlett, rich kid with a perfect life, goes to bed as an orphaned mutant covered in blood. Rose grabs the traumatized James and they flee to the remote Yukon Territory. She gives him a new identity, Logan. In the harsh mining camps, Logan discovers he's stronger than any normal man, tougher than the hardest miners, and more dangerous than a cornered Wolverine. The miners start calling him the Wolverine because of his ferocity and refusal to back down from any fight. But trauma has a way of messing with your head, and Logan's memories become foggy, fragmented like broken glass. Just when Logan thinks he's found peace, guess who shows up? Dog Logan, his half-brother, still alive and still seeking revenge. The bastard tracked Logan down with one mission: kill him. The two brothers clash in a brutal fight, and Logan's rage takes over again. His claws come out, his animal instincts kick in, but in his berserker fury, he accidentally strikes Rose. The one person who cared about him, the one person who saw him as more than a monster. She dies in his arms, and Logan realizes something horrifying. Maybe his mother was right, maybe he really is just an animal. Broken and believing himself to be more beast than man, Logan abandons civilization entirely. He goes feral, living in the wilderness with a pack of wolves. For the first time in years, he finds a twisted kind of peace. The wolves accept him as their alpha, he hunts for them, and they give him the family he never had. But peace never lasts long in Logan's life. While he's out hunting, a massive polar bear slaughters his entire wolf pack. Logan comes home to find his adopted family torn apart, and something snaps inside him. He attacks the polar bear in a blind rage and actually dies in the process. But here's the thing about Logan: death is just an inconvenience when you have a healing factor. He comes back to life and tears that polar bear to shreds. Word spreads about a wild man living in the woods, and soon Logan becomes a target for capture. Enter Hugo Haversham, a circus ringmaster with dollar signs in his eyes, along with his partners Clara and Creed. They manage to capture Logan and turn him into a freak show attraction. Night after night, they electrocute him for the crowd's entertainment, watching him scream and heal over and over again. Clara starts feeling sorry for this tortured man, but Creed, he couldn't care less as long as he's not the one in the cage. But someone else has been watching Logan's performances with great interest. Dr. Nathaniel Essex, a scientist obsessed with mutation and evolution. When the circus starts losing money, Essex makes Hugo an offer he can't refuse. "Let me experiment on your animal man, and I'll prove he's real." Of course, Essex has his own agenda. When Hugo brings Logan to Essex's lab, the good doctor releases a deadly gas that kills everyone except Logan. Essex reveals his true plan. He wants to use Logan's healing factor to create an army of super soldiers. Lucky for Logan, Clara and Creed bust him out before Essex can start cutting him up. For one beautiful month in New York, Logan learns to be human again with Clara and Creed. He and Clara grow close, really close, much to Creed's jealousy. But Essex's men, the Marauders, track them down and attack their apartment. Logan goes into full combat mode, slicing through them like a hot knife through butter. But history has a cruel sense of humor. In his berserker rage, Logan accidentally strikes Clara, and she collapses. Just like Rose, just like everyone he's ever cared about, Clara dies because of Logan's inability to control the beast inside him. Logan and Creed storm Essex's lab for a final confrontation. Essex isn't surprised to see them. In fact, he's been expecting Logan. Then he drops another bombshell. Creed has been working for him all along, feeding him information about Logan's location. Essex wanted Logan to escape, wanted him to experience hope and love, just so he could take it all away again. Logan goes ballistic, stabbing Essex and throwing him out a window before turning on Creed. But wait, plot twist. Clara's not dead after all. She reveals that she and her family have healing factors too, just not as powerful as Logan's. She also admits to Logan that she loves him and tells him that Creed is her brother. Logan takes this as permission to drown Creed in one of Essex's experimental vats. Spoiler alert, it wasn't permission. Clara is horrified by Logan's actions and calls him exactly what he's feared he was all along. A cold-hearted killer. Once again, Logan walks away alone into the cold, dark wilderness. But Logan's story is far from over. This broken, violent man will go on to fight in multiple wars, fall in love again, lose love again, and eventually become one of the most important X-Men in history. He'll join a program called Weapon X, where they'll coat his skeleton in an indestructible metal called adamantium, turning him into the ultimate weapon. They'll try to erase his memories, control his mind, and use him as their perfect soldier. And you know what the most messed up part is? Through all the pain, all the loss, all the violence, Logan will keep trying to be better than the animal his mother said he was. He'll mentor young mutants, fight alongside the X-Men, and prove that even the most damaged soul can choose to be a hero. But that night in the woods, walking away from Clara's rejection, Logan doesn't know any of that yet. All he knows is that everyone he's ever loved has died, and maybe that's just the way it has to be for someone like him. The man who started life as James Howlett, the rich kid who had everything, has become Logan, the Wolverine. A man cursed to live forever, but doomed to lose everyone he cares about. And somewhere in the shadows, something even more dangerous than Sabretooth is watching, waiting to make Logan's life even more of a living hell. Because if there's one thing Logan's story teaches us, it's that for some people, the nightmare never ends. It just finds new ways to hurt you.